Hey everybody, it is the second episode of 2018 and the second of the last four, right?
I don't know, last however many. I'm not so good with the maths. We've been over this.
Yeah, but there's only a couple more left to go. I'm back, which obviously makes everything better. I got stuck in the middle though on this like squeaky seat. I don't know how Will sits on it.
That's what happened. Turns out I did some research. None of us actually have shares, so this is the best punishment I could come up with.
None of us actually have shares. The shock. All right. Well then, why don't you start, Mister? I hold no shares at Zanadu.
Who, me? All right. I'm going to start off with a new storyline over in everybody's favorite team-up/battle book here, SpiderMan vs. Deadpool. That change in the title, I guess, happened with Marvel Legacy, as well as a new writer and artist here.
Oh, it's
Robbie
versus
Thompson,
Deadpool.
is scripting this issue with art by Scott Hepburn, one of our favorites for sure.
Scott Hepburn is excellent.
Always great to see him getting new work, and his sort of zany, cartoony style really, really works with this storyline in which we see Spider-Man and Deadpool as old guys. I'm not quite sure what the story is there. It doesn't seem like they've been, like, aged up or anything. Like, it definitely seems that they're in the future. Like, you know, Peter's in a retirement home and all that. Deadpool's still kind of just bumming around being a weirdo like always.
Right.
But
They don't let him in retirement home.
yeah, no, you don't need him around old women. No. We saw how badly that woman blacked out.
Oh man, so much touching. So dirty.
But yeah, this is a fun little zany story here. Turns out Peter Parker's wheelchair sticks to walls.
Oh,
crazy, isn't it?
Why not?
Although the time will tell whether we see another feature of Spider-Man's that has been featured in previous old Peter Parker stories, one which I shall not name because this is a kids' show.
That's right.
This isn't a kids' show.
Well, no, whatever. I'm going to continue with some more Marvel comic books here. We've got the big release of the maxi series, Old Man Hawkeye, spinning out of the pages of Old Man Logan that spawned the very popular movie Logan. This is the story of the terrible, terrible, devious man that totally betrayed Wolverine and got him all captured, and he's not a good guy.
He was pretty irredeemable by the end of that
story. He was totally
story.
an ass, man. Actually, he thought, he thought he was cool. He had the spider buggy, which obviously, gave him a lot of cred. And then he betrays Wolverine, just hardcore style. But he gets his own book now, so I guess villainy always pays off in the end. I'm not sure.
You do love the bad guy.
It's true. You've got Ethan Sachs and Marco Cicchetto putting this out.
What?
I said putting it out.
Ethan what?
Ethan Sachs?
Sachs?
Sachs.
Okay.
Sachs.
Please stop saying Sachs.
Kid friendly now.
But it's got the cool Madrox Multiple Men as a gang. You got Hawkeye's daughter, and some other pieces and tidbits of the world that you're going to see fleshed out in this long series. So any questions that you had, or if you wanted to see more from the world of Old Man Logan,
it's weird because Hawkeye's daughter doesn't look that much younger than she was in Old Man Logan, but then Hawkeye looks like he's 20 years younger.
Yeah,
so
Hawkeye can see in this, so this is prior to when he was blind, which to me defeats the... I'm going to stop.
Yeah. I'm going to take it over. You've got a maxi series and I've got a big weekly series. This is Avengers. This is going to kick off in all the Avengers books. This is Avengers, Uncanny Avengers, US Avengers, Used Avengers, Occupy the Avengers. Anyway, it's all the Avengers teams. It's Mark Waid, it's Jim Zub. It is Al Ewing. What an incredible, brain trifecta
Seriously.
of creator guys.
Like, it would be one thing just to have Mark Waid on a weekly book
Yeah.
again,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Ewing in there too.
But this is Pepe Larraz does the art, and this is a Mark Brooks awesome super cover. It's going to have all your Avengers team. Basically, the Earth has been stolen, and it's going to take all the Avengers teams and make it happen. There's a lot of stuff that they've been teasing Marvel has ever since Marvel Legacy. Voyager, who's the mysterious founding Avenger that you never heard of her before.
Oh, is it the girl with the big V on her?
What is she? How is she involved? They've been
no.
hinting at the return of Bruce Banner as the Hulk. You're going to get an immortal Hulk in this series. There's also the return of two really bad, it's kid friendly, I can say badass. It's badass. Really villain groups are going to be pitted against this. They've been amped up, so it's just a big, epic weekly event with all the Avengers, anyone who's ever been an Avenger. Maybe not Gilgamesh. They'll keep him out, But anyway, they'll sacrifice him to save the Earth. But really exciting. Once again, great writers, great artists. All your Avengers in one jam-packed issue, plus a lot of mysteries that'll lead up to what's coming up after Marvel Legacy.
Boom.
There you go, bam.
Look at that.
Word. Well, I've got the second issue of Sword of Ages here from IDW, and Gabriel Rodriguez supplying not just the art for this beautiful looking book, but the writing as well. A co-creator on the Lock and Key series, the ever popular Lock and Key series. Like, I don't think IDW has ever had anything that like well selling. This is sort of a kind of a remix of Arthurian legend, shot into space on the back of a saber-toothed tiger. This issue we are seeing the introduction of the villainous Lord Morgan. Ooh. I like the name of that character.
Clearly, yeah. I feel a little biased from over here in this
I've
corner.
never claimed to be unbiased in my life, so yeah, sounds about right.
Yep.
This is beautiful. He looks evil as shit. He's like branding one of these gorilla dudes on the head with his ring, and it's like kind of filling his head with some Lovecraftian monsters. Yeah, it's really just
It's
a
really
beautiful book,
gorgeous.
full of action, weird sci-fi concepts, and really just comfy fantasy tropes. Like, I'd say this is really just one of those books where you just want to lie down with it, maybe drink a cup of tea, like, and just let yourself be immersed in the world that's presented to you between these two covers.
Dun, dun, dun.
Be immersed.
My next pick is part 4 of 4 of The Crimson Tower, featuring the most awesome head lopper. The fixed version, I guess, from a couple weeks ago. This was supposed to be released. Andrew McLean has finally been presented with a copy that he's happy with, and so now we all get to enjoy the end of the, I guess, third story arc here. Yeah, I think.
It's the second
Or
story.
second story arc of Headlopper. But this one was really cool, where it is finally time to battle Ulrich the Twice Damned and his deadly servant Berserker.
My love for you is like a truck berserker.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, I can't say Berserker without thinking of Clerks and with that dude sitting outside the friggin' convenience store. Oh my God, yeah, that is true gems. Kevin Smith really has at times been quite brilliant. But this is absolutely one of my favorite comics that comes out these days. It's a rare treat. Comes out quarterly. It's in these nice big like adventure magazine kind of things. And it's a comic that just where all sorts of awesome stuff happens, and it's something that is really and truly honoring the medium of comic books and doing stuff that only comic books can do. Andrew McLean is frigging amazing, and I'm just very excited that this is popular enough to continue. So, we will see more eventually after this is done. And we're still waiting for our Norgal vinyl toys. We never got them. That's what I'm
No, did we have a promotional deal or
We
something
did. We
there,
demanded
or is this
those.
just like our
yeah.
shares?
Yeah, no, we demanded those a while ago,
close
and
to us.
yeah, they're not happening. So if you can make with that, we'd appreciate it. Thanks.
My next pick is X-Men Blue, and here's a thought. We might want to consult Doctor Who on this. What if you were brought from the past
Pretty sure he's called the Doctor, not Doctor Who.
into the future? I'm going to ignore that. Then you went back to that same past and ran into yourself again. So that is the big timey-wimey dilemma. Thank you, Doctor Who, for letting me borrow that. I just did it.
Pretty sure
Going
Twilight Zone
on
did it first.
in X-Men Blue, the Cross-Time Capers continues. Cullen Bunn has really been doing something. He really captures a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed this series. But as you know, like the X-Men from the past, they kind of work. They're working with Magneto. I like to say Magneto. You say Magneto. I think it's Nito to say Magneto.
Will, you should have left that joke in 2017.
I know. I'm
God.
going to keep saying it. I hope we get to another X-Men book before we end here. But there's Bloodstorm. There's Jimmy Hudson. They're all part of the team now, and so they've been traveling to these preset points in time. We've been to X-Men 2099. We've been to the Generation X, the original era. But now they're back into the original time with Professor X and their original costumes. Look at that Art Adams.
I was gonna
It's
say,
amazing.
Art Adams.
Art Adams, you're amazing. But I
doesn't
will
get
say,
better.
inside RB Silva, you're doing beautiful work on this series with Cullen Bunn, and I gotta wonder where it's going. There've already been, I don't want to give it away in case you haven't read it, but there's some stuff obviously going on with Jean Grey and the Phoenix. Like, is this the end of all the time lost X-Men? I don't know. So, come in and enjoy the flashback, flash forward, flashbacking
of the
Anyway,
X-Men.
you'll have a good time.
There's just a lot of flashing going on.
There's a lot of flashing
It's
going
true.
on. And the big question is, if you're now allied with your enemy, do you attack your enemy now that he's enemies in the past? Now that you're allies?
No,
Somebody
man.
take the next.
No.
Somebody take
No.
the next book before
That's-
I go any
yeah.
further.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. Well, speaking on the subject of enemies and allies, there comes a time every single year, like clockwork, where the lines are blurred, when it's really every man for himself. And that time is called the Royal Rumble, baby. In case you didn't know, I like wrestling possibly more than I like comics. So, when every once in a while they decide to put out a truly remarkable wrestling comic, you're damn sure I'm gonna talk about it. And here is the 2018 Royal Rumble special from Boom Studios. This is a cool anthology title, sort of like their they did a Survivor Series one, they did a WrestleMania one, I think there's a SummerSlam one even. Just they like to hit the big
For all the
pay-per-views.
pay-per-views, yeah.
You know, they're not gonna waste one on like Bad Blood or Great Balls of Fire or something like
No
that.
mercy.
But this has a lot of really cool stories from all periods of the WWE. You've got a great Macho King story, which is like kind of like it's a bit of a road trip deal where he has to get to the arena. But Ultimate Warrior is just stalking him the whole time, like they're throwing down in the Denny's or something. There's a
sounds
really
like
cool
Ultimate Warrior.
story that AJ Styles actually co-wrote himself about his debut in the Royal Rumble a couple years back. You've got a New Day story highlighting all of Kofi Kingston's best escapes from elimination, because that's apparently like one of the things they do now. I was lapsed for a few years, and I've only recently come back, but you don't need to know that. And we've also got, as the opening feature, a story of the great Ric Flair. Yes, the GOAT. Woo!
That's right. It's true. Who
Yeah.
recently came out of the hospital from terrible heart things.
Oh yeah, he's unkillable.
Yeah,
It's
he's
like
pretty unkillable.
at the end of time, it's going to be him and Stan Lee like dueling on a piece of the earth floating through space.
Right, yelling at each other. My final pick this week is the 6th and first story arc ending issue of the best book that DC's putting out, Mr. Miracle. Tom King, Mitch Gerads, whatever, have been melting my mind for 6 months here. This book has to come out monthly, because if it came out more than monthly, you just wouldn't be okay as a human. This has tackled everything from being a god, to depression, to escaping death, to devious Game of Thrones kind of politicky stuff. In total, Rip holding it down for Bug, who was just destroyed horribly while Mr. Miracle drank milk. He's kind of detached, if you haven't noticed. Yeah, this issue really, I mean, there's just no joke. The internet is correct about this. Tom King and Drads are just killing it, both visually and with the dialogue and stuff. They're trying to do something new for Kirby things, which is never done, really. Beautiful cover by Nick Darrington, as always, and I think the first trade for Mr. Miracle will be coming out in a month or two. Go get it from your new favorite comic book shop, or, somewhere that is not Amazon.
Yeah, good plan.
Yeah.
My final pick of the week, it's another X-Men book, but for me it's like Excalibur. I love the original Excalibur. Once upon a time, Rachel Summers, Kitty Pryde, and Nightcrawler woke up in jolly old England, and they teamed up with Captain Britain and his girlfriend Megan, who was kind of a mystical mutant shapeshifter, Earth Mother kind of all kinds of thing. Anyway, she was awesome.
She's an elf.
She was kind of an elf. I don't know. Anyway, there's a lot going on, but I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun, and this is a reunion of the original cast. They're celebrating a new Braddock in the family. There's some alien Debari reunions. It's a whole adventure. A lot of fun. The original series was done by Chris Claremont and Alan Davis, who I love. Alan Davis. He does the cover here, but it's Mark Guggenheim, who's been writing XMen Gold, along with Leah Williams, and art by Alita Martinez. And if you're nostalgic for your Excalibur greatness, come check it out.
And if
And
you
that's
also want
our
to see
final
Brian
picks.
Braddock ruined with a horrible hipster haircut.
Yeah, they did horrible things.
He's got a
to
beard.
those. Yeah, it's
I
kinda
just
weird.
wanted to have Kitty in her. I've loved Kitty Pryde, but I loved her Shadowcat costume. And guys,
Shadowcat's badass.
and she's trained. Obviously,
Yeah.
she's trained as a ninja by Wolverine, which
That's
some they don't
right.
always do with that. But she's the leader of the X-Men Gold team, and she's awesome.
She's
So there we
very
go.
cool.
Another fanciful edition of comics.
That's
Just
right.
what?
Smell good,
Yeah.
as always. And I think that's about it. Yeah, thank you for watching, as usual. We've got a couple more to go. And maybe we'll have some announcements about the future of Comics Should Smell Good soon.
Ooh.
Yeah, for your nose holes.
That's right. See you guys.